Alrighty, and this is the video review for the DX Junior 03 Ankydon. He is KyoryuCyan's mech. And KyoryuCyan is Ramires, the ancient Viking warrior who is a former member of the Kyoryuger team. KyoryuCyan, obviously, who fights on as a spirit warrior with his good, trusty mech, Ankydon. So he's cool. Ankydon may quickly be one of my favorites, along with this little guy right here. They're friends. They like to get along. They do all kinds of things together. They went to the park. But yeah. And speaking of which, there are like two main body types right now so far between the ancillary mechs that attach to Gabutyra. There's this type, the Drakera, Ankydon, Zyudenchi, four-legged, fold up into a hand mechs, as well as the two-legged mechs of Zakator and Parasagon, and Bunpaki is a Paracephalosaur wrecking ball. His head comes off into a wrecking ball in the same mold. So there's going to be three of this type of mold, three of this type of mold, and then there's a Pteranodon, a Brachiosaur, and a Plesiosaur that we know are coming as the last to round up the 10 mechs that we know of. Will there be more? I don't know. But we've seen those, the Great 10 protectors that we've seen in the show. So yeah, here's Ankydon. I think he's really cool. I like his little spiky back. He's obviously an ankylosaur. And even this way, even without his thing activated, he has kind of a club tail back here, which is very cool. To activate his thing, we have his battery, and he's got the same glow-in-the-dark to shiny brave-in transformation on his battery. And just like the other ones, you lift his head up. And you got to be careful here. Like, I'm going to actually intentionally pop this off because these heads are very easy to pop off. And on the one hand, I get why they did it. They made it with these little spring notches, so when they're at, because when you open them up, they are really at just the extent of where they can move. Like that's the clip, and that's it. And they did that so that you don't break them. They didn't want to put like a hinge in there that would snap or break if it popped off, because with this amount of leverage, it would be very easy to snap it off. On the downside, with those springs in, it's very easy to snap it off. Like even just in the process of opening it up, whether it's lifting the head up or lowering the jaw, like you do on Zakator, and then it's very easy to pop the heads right off, which is a little bit of a shame. But you just got to know where to stop and where the amount of force is, because much more than that, and it pops right off, as you saw. A minor complaint on these, because once you get the right amount of pressure down, it's not that bad. But it does take some getting used to. You're probably going to pop one of these off at least once if you have these guys. Taking his Zyudenchi and sticking it in his mouth. Snaps it in like that. Push the button to let it slide back. Push it all the way in. And you spring load his hammer. And now he's got his hammer tail. Much like an ankylosaur should. And you can see just like this, it's still kind of on a spring. You can make it kind of hammer if you want. You can, whether you want it to for Kyoryugen mode, or if you just want to just do it for the sake of it, you can snap it into place and it'll hold as well. Also, in order to keep this piece from breaking, there is a port right here where it does snap off in case of high stress, just so it doesn't snap the plastic. It is made to pop off, although this is much harder to snap off, and you can hang him by it, than popping the head off while you're opening the mouth. But yeah, that's Ankydon pretty much in a nutshell. He's got some posability in his legs, but that's about it, and that's again for arm mode, which we'll go ahead and turn him into now. We're just going to flip him up, open up his mouth, pop his Zyudenchi out because we're going to need it to activate Kyoryugen here, and we'll pop that back in. We're actually going to go ahead and pop Zyudenchi's extra battery in, just because then I can use this battery to show off what it sounds like as an attack in Kyoryugen. So yeah, we'll stick that off to the side. We'll bring Kyoryugen over. And just like before, we open them up, lift them up here, we pop in. Ankydon. Then we go to Drakera. Back to Gabutyra. Come on. And now we get to Kyoryucyan Macho. So yeah, there is Kyoryucyan Macho. And if you want to hear what Ankydon sounds like as an attack in combined form... He kind of sounds like a rock, hammer breaking rock, which is kind of cool. So yeah, there are the sounds that he makes with the combined mech. I do wonder, like, how much thought goes into some of these forms. Like, apparently, Kyoryucyan Western, people have pointed out that apparently they call it Western because the dinosaurs that make up the limbs in that one have particularly been found in Western Hemisphere. So that makes sense. Then Kyoryucyan Normal is just the other two. This one's Kyoryucyan Macho, and I don't know if... Like, I'm curious as to how much they thought they put into it, because I find it curious that, like, Kyoryucyan Macho is like a pale blue and a pale pink, which are not normally colors that stereotypically you associate with being macho. And I'm curious if that was... Like I said, I'm wondering if it's just how it worked out that way, and maybe I'm reading too much into it. I wonder if they were trying to, like, make a point of, like, so what if it's macho? Yes, it's pink and pale blue, but, like, this is the macho version, and he's clearly more powerful this way. Like, if they're trying to make a statement that way, if they were trying to make it more of a funny joke, like, haha, the macho guy's blue and pink, like, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not ascribing to any stereotypical assignation of these colors. It's just something I noticed, and I wondered, like, just how much thought put into it, if it was that's just how it worked out. I almost kind of want them to be, like, making a statement on the fact that, like, just because it's light blue and pink doesn't mean it's not macho. But maybe that's just me wanting to ascribe my own, I don't know, ideas onto it. But still, it's Kyoryucyan Macho. Zoom out to get the whole deal with the drill and the hammer. Both very cool. And then, of course, this is the review for number 3 there in the Junryu Ankydon.